So we've been going through for you the Durham report. I think, again, we all share your frustrations. Rick, for everyone out there, your first reactions to the report.
Well, one of my first reactions was to call President Trump. We've been through so much of this. And so I spoke to President Trump yesterday, and, he feels once again, and I emphasize once again, vindicated. But for me, justice delayed is justice denied. It took 4 years. I declassified a whole bunch of information at the request of Durham. I am frustrated that it took so long, and that at the end of the day, the FBI reads the report and issues a statement saying, "Oh, mistakes were made, but we cleaned it up." I'm sorry, but they didn't clean it up. They didn't even admit that they were making mistakes until recently. This is like, somebody who gets caught being a drunk and then immediately says to the judge in a DUI case, "Oh, I've already gone through treatment. Everything is fine." No, you got to prove to us that there were wholesale changes at the FBI. This is, I want to see prosecutions. I want to see firings. Andrew McCabe got his pension back. These were not an admitted mistakes and fixers. This is a disaster. This is still a problem. And I don't see any evidence that we've cleaned it up. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me for not making the changes necessary so that I'm not fooled again. And the reality is that we haven't made these changes. People are not being prosecuted. Look, you got to give it to the Democrats. They know how to prosecute really fast and effectively. And I would argue, from a partisan standpoint, they've created this two-tier system of justice, and the media just goes along with them. But, when a Republican is trying to go through this process, it's way too long. We know this with FOIA requests. How it immediately goes fast for a Democrat, and for a Republican, it takes forever. And so this two-tier justice system has got to stop. Our Congress representatives need to get more active. We need, as you say, to clean this up so it doesn't happen again. I am not convinced that it's not going to happen again. Let's not forget the 3 weeks before the election, the intel community leadership from the Democratic side and the uniparty side telling us that the Russians planted Hunter Biden's laptop, and that we shouldn't look at the information, and we shouldn't conclude that the Biden family was somehow involved with Chinese communist officials, even though the evidence showed. And so this is always going to happen. But look, CNN and Jake Tapper, they have a problem. There's a reporter named Natasha Bertrand who was at Politico, and she is one of the queen bees of creating this Russian collusion hoax. She reported breathlessly, immediately, salaciously, on every angle, pretending that the Russians somehow had Donald Trump as their tool. All of that was wrong, and Natasha now works at CNN. She's still there. If Chris Light, who is the leader, the new CEO of CNN, who says that he wants to clean it up, if he really wants to clean it up, he should start by saying the evidence in the Durham report shows that Natasha was a tool of the left, the partisan left, and made up stories, and she is not welcome at CNN. That should happen. What we have in this next election, I'm convinced that it's going to be Donald Trump as the Republican nominee and Joe Biden as the Democratic nominee. I'm convinced that's going to happen. And so we won't have any politician promises of what they might do in the future. We will be able to compare actual policies. What was accomplished under Trump versus Biden? We will be able to see the evidence, not the promises.